Good day, I'm Carrie-Ann Smith and this is your JIS News for Friday, June 7. The Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation is to develop stronger mechanisms to integrate compliance and efficiency into government operations. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the culture of inefficiency and non-compliance within public administration have for too long crippled the nation's potential for further growth. He has directed the ministry to quickly devise a plan that incorporates the use of more technology to make it easier to comply with regulations.
And oftentimes, the two things are seen as conflicting. That if you are to be efficient, then it is highly likely that you can't comply with the rules. And if you are to be compliant, then it is highly likely that you can't be efficient. My word to the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, and indeed to the entire government, the entire civil service and the public sector, is that we have to do both and do them well. We have to comply and we have to be efficient.
Mr. Holness was speaking at Thursday's official opening of the R Hotel in New Kingston. The $6.5 million investment features 48 rooms, a gym, art gallery, and the Red Bones restaurant, which was previously located on Argyle Road in the capital. Jamaica has surpassed 2 million tourist arrivals within the first 5 months of 2019. The historic achievement was revealed by Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett as he addressed last night's opening of the R Hotel in New Kingston. He also announced that over $1.7 billion in tourism earnings was generated between January and May as a result of the increase in arrivals. With the growth in tourism earnings and arrivals, the Ministry's Tourism Linkages Council is working to retain visitor spending so more Jamaicans can benefit from the industry. The country now retains 40.8 cents, up from 30 cents of every tourism dollar spent on the island.
We are moving very seriously about retaining more of the Jamaican dollar and the US dollar in particular in Jamaica.
A national salt reduction program will be implemented as part of continuous measures to combat non-communicable diseases referred to as NCDs. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says the program, which is budgeted at $23 million, aims to reduce cases of hypertension and associated cardiovascular diseases. 1 in every 3 Jamaican is said to be hypertensive.
The project, which among other things is to capture baseline data on salt consumption as well as salt content in packaged and restaurant foods, is also in alignment with the Ministry's National Strategic and Action Plan for Prevention and Control of NCDs and the mandate of our Food Industry Task Force.
Dr. Tufton was addressing the opening of a 2-day regional meeting on the reduction of salt for prevention and control of NCDs. It was held earlier this week at the University of the West Indies in St. Andrew. He said the National Salt Reduction Program would run for 18 months in partnership with the Caribbean Institute for Health Research. Prime Minister Andrew Holness is encouraging heads of government agencies to increase their intake of HOPE trainees. Agency heads are also being called on to create new programs to absorb more young people into their operations where possible. Mr. Holness says work is ongoing to increase private sector partnership with the HOPE program.
The deliberate programs that we have put in place, such as the HOPE program, has done a lot to increase employment, both in terms of the short-term apprenticeship type program, but in also ensuring that the labor that we have is at a level of training that they can access the employment that exists in the economy.
Prime Minister Holness was addressing Thursday's strategic leadership retreat of the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation in Ocheria, St. Anne. The government's flagship youth employment program has engaged over 10,000 young Jamaicans since its 2017 inception. More than 1,000 youth have matriculated from the National Service Corps, which is being facilitated by the Jamaica Defence Force. 19,450 new electors have been added to the national voters list. 1.95 million registered voters are on the latest list, which was published on May 31. The Electoral Commission of Jamaica says almost 9,000 electors have been struck from the voters list, 7,822 of whom are deceased. Elector registration identification cards for persons added to the May 31 voters list will be available by mid-June. The ID cards should be collected at the EOJ office in the constituencies where they live. In the meantime, the Electoral Office of Jamaica will start a voters' ID card renewal exercise later this year to replace all cards with 2017 and 2019 expiry dates. And finally, Jamaicans on the west and north coasts turned out today to pay their respects to former Prime Minister Edward Seaga. Persons filed into the Montego Bay Civic Center in St. James to view the casket bearing his body, which was there in the morning. The casket then traveled to the St. John's Anglican Church in Ocheria, St. Anne. Members of the public will also be able to pay their respects at the Tivoli Gardens Community Center, where the body of Mr. Seaga will lie in state from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Monday and on Tuesday at the same time in the Denham Town Community Center. Mr. Seaga died on his 89th birthday on May 28 in a hospital in Florida. His state funeral will be held on Sunday, June 23 at the Cathedral of the Most Holy Trinity in Kingston. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Carrie Ann Smith. Thanks for watching.